Hello again. Welcome back to Political Zone and Assalamu alaikum. This is Hassan Zafar. Two major events have taken place in the previous 2 months. One was the Indian attack on Pakistan, the Operation Sindoor, followed by Israel's attack on Iran. This has immensely, drastically changed the outlook of this region in many ways. In what ways? That we need to discuss, and for that we have the geoeconomics expert with us, Simon Sharif Saab. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. A very important thing for us in Pakistan to fathom the ways in which these two events have changed things for Pakistan.
Good evening and Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So you have a presentation for us, which we cannot actually display here, but if you can share the key points that you have.
You see, we know about the situation. We've discussed it at length. We did multiple programs on the Indian-Pakistan 4-day war. We did many programs, not only with me, but with others also, on the Israel-Iran conflict. Our analysis have mostly come out to be correct. And in this backdrop, there are looming questions for the future of Pakistan. And for me, it is extremely important, not only as a Pakistani citizen, but also as someone who understands the region, the globe, the currents, the countercurrents outside Pakistan and also inside Pakistan. So I ask myself, where do we align now? Do we align with USA, which means also align with India and Israel? Or conversely, do we align with the region, which includes China, Iran, Bangladesh, Central Asian republics? Where is our alignment? Is it towards United States? If it is towards United States, then we'll have to have a very friendly stance with India and also with Israel. This is something we were hearing for the past more than 3 years. Or do we align with China now and become part, make a crescent in this region and look for our development, economics and everything towards China and also work hard ourselves. So this is the paradox that we face. The first part of this paradox is, do we align with the United States of America? I can comment with a fair degree of accuracy that Pakistan was tilted towards the United States of America in the past 8 to 10 years. Very, very clearly, there was a tilt in favor of the United States of America. There was a tilt towards negotiating with India. There was a quiet on the line of control. There was an invisible diplomacy going on between the intelligence chiefs of both the countries. And the previous chief of the army staff, General Bajwa, was heard openly talking in dinners at different places, even with journalists, and Hamid Mir and some others have revealed all that information. He was showing a soft angle towards India. But in that, Pulwama took place and then India attacked Balakot. And then the government at that time of Imran Khan wanted to retaliate. And Pakistan Air Force did retaliate in the Balakot strikes, which was the first trailer of the power of the Pakistan Air Force. But still, even after that, this continued. I know people who came to me because I was writing extensively in 2020 and even before that on the changing regional dynamics and national dynamics, the role of United States and more. They actually called me and cautioned me that I should go easy on it. Of course, I did not, and I continued to do so. So there was a clear trend of this. The truce, the so-called truce which existed, broke once again in the first week of May this year. And there was a false flag operation or a swan or the red herrings, whatever you may call them. And as a result of that, India targeted 9 targets and they attacked Pakistan with whatever they had. And then Pakistan retaliated at the same time. And there was a fierce air battle. I've discussed with you, number of Indian aircrafts brought down, bombardments and counter bombardments through missiles and aircrafts and everything. It came to end after 4 days. People who had orchestrated it realized the futility of using India as a proxy against Pakistan and China, and they stopped the war, and the war was stopped. So, can we have a friendship with India under these circumstances? A very, very violent, a non-ethical, coming very hard on people in India who do not belong to the political party or their line of Hindutva thinking. Can Pakistan make peace with them and align with the United States of America and indirectly also with Israel? I think the second conflict between Israel and Iran has made it very clear it is not possible for Pakistan to be aligning with the American school. President Trump did give a very loose statement. He was praising the Pakistan Chief of Army Staff as also the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, in a talk over a sports team which was standing behind him. But having heard it and seen it repeatedly, it does not give a very definite message. He's praising both sides in that. Some people have tried to give an impression that Pakistan was on America's side during the strikes on Iran. I don't think so. With that video, that observation is correct. Probably Pakistan has kept its cards very close to its heart. So I think rationally, there is no more chance of any alliance with America, because that means also aligning with India and Israel. And don't forget, there were lobbies in Pakistan who said that if you talk against the Jews, it is under 295 article. And they were also saying there's nothing wrong in recognizing Israel and all that. They have all gone quiet now. So I don't think there's a chance of this. But in Pakistan, like
Well,
its sector, is a country of
about
uncertainties.
the Indian lobbies in Pakistan? What about the Indian lobbies? So do you think Indian and Israeli lobbies were working together in Pakistan?
I never had any doubt about it. Not now, maybe 30 years ago also when I was in service, 20 years ago when I was in service. I had no doubt that there were Indian lobbies, Israeli lobbies, American lobbies, British, Omani, Qatari, Iranian, Saudi proxies, all of them were in Pakistan and they were most active. If you draw a line from Quetta and west of that towards Iran, they were most active in this area. In fact, the first article I wrote for the news after my retirement was Pakistan's future war. And I said the biggest testament to Pakistan's war will come when interference in Balochistan will begin. That was a very, very long time ago. And then it began. So my statement stands today. So I have no doubt all these perpetrators of hostile intelligence agencies were there. They had, they were snubbed and suppressed in the times of General Raheel Sharif. MQM met its fate, and a lot of these organizations were smashed. You also know the arrest of Gulbashan Yadev. It was during his tenure. And now, once we hear the chatter coming from Iran, Chabahar and all that, the confirmed news have yet to come, but it links up empirically and as circumstantial evidence that all this was happening long ago in Pakistan. It's not a matter of today. Now, the second part, should we align with China? I think our major defense requirements are met by China. In the ground forces, our artillery, our tanks, there's so many other equipment come from China. Uh, Pakistan Air Force is fully reliant on China now. And the F-16s that we have from the United States of America, they are only now in the second line. They are no more a frontline aircraft of Pakistan. With the
We were not
BVR,
even allowed to use them as front.
yeah.
Isn't that
So,
true?
so
We were not allowed to use them as frontline aircraft.
just today, I saw an article where a Pakistani pilot is seen sitting in a JC-35, ready to take off. So, if we have so much of defense reliance on China, and as we've seen in the Iran war also, and we saw the previous two incidents with India, Pakistan Air Force has to play a major role. And Pakistan Air Force is equipped, for most part, the Chinese
Maybe
equipped.
we should discuss it another time, that how these two wars, or the experience of these two wars, has changed the ways we have traditionally
And
imagined wars.
that's a very interesting subject, and we'll need number of programs actually to discuss it.
Yes. I think we should do that, because
Coming back to the Chinese bloc,
the
back
ways.
coming
Yes,
back to the Chinese bloc,
yes,
what
please.
is most important for us is many Pakistanis do not know. They do not realize. I've heard very senior retired people arguing with me because they do not know. Pakistan had an agreement in 1962 with China, which was signed in 1963 between Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and the Chinese foreign minister. Ayub Khan was the president. That is the border agreement. And that border agreement guarantees that we will have Chinese support for the liberation of Indian occupied Kashmir. This is very important. So, if we want the complete the Kashmir issue to be resolved, then we have to do it in the light of this agreement, because UN Resolution 1948 means nothing. And
No,
pursuant to the agreement,
chapter 6. Chapter
yes,
6. Yes.
and pursuant to that agreement, Chinese moved into Ladakh right up to Galwan, where they overlook the highway, which is going from Leh and the other side from Himachal Pradesh to Daulat Beg Oldie, which is the Indian airport, very close to the Chinese border. And right to the west of Daulat Beg Oldie is Karakoram Pass, which is in fact part of Pakistan, which India has occupied in the Siachen operation. So, with the Chinese right there at Galwal, where they could, with direct fire, stop their line of communications, existence of this agreement, and within the agreement, use of terrain which is now with the Chinese, which used to be previously with Pakistan, uh, we can very easily roll down the Indians. Indians are actually now sandwiched between China and Pakistan, and it is very easy to roll down and take away Ladakh from them, and rest can then follow. So China is very important to us, not only for defense, economic development, BRI projects, but also for the settlement of the Kashmir issue. Coming to, and with China comes the entire Central Asian republics, because they are
So,
either dependent on Russia or they are on China, dependent on
I'm
China.
tempted to ask a question here,
Yeah.
and that is, do you see a military solution for Kashmir issue?
It will be a military solution in the sense that Chinese will creep further forward, not only here in Ladakh, but also in Himachal Pradesh.
Hmm.
because they're claiming that territory. It used to be once upon a time part of China. It's the British who changed that status. So the Chinese
Yes.
that also, and in Ladakh also they're claiming areas. And I remember the first time you talked to me and we did a show, you said article Ladakh a four-dimensional conflict. What is this? I said there are three countries: China, India, and Pakistan. And fourth dimension is the people of Indian occupied Kashmir. So this solution can only come through China, partially military, and the military solution is very economical, not very difficult. India will not be able to resist much. We
Hmm.
wasted a chance in Ladakh when China was attacking them, because in those days we were talking of peace with China immediately after Balakot and all that. And it is in this context that India also cancelled the 370 and 35A. And that
Hmm.
is what instigated the Chinese to take action. Because according to the UN resolution and the agreements India has with China since 1949, I have each agreement with me. The communication taking place between the Chinese and the Indians foreign officers. I have the complete. Uh, there's so many places where Indians have violated those communiques vis-a-vis China, and China keeps
I think
reminding
this
them.
is another question. This is another looming question here. That the lines which the British drew 100 years ago and the international law and the agreements that came into being and came into effect after the Second World War, they don't really seem to have any standing anymore. The way and the ways in which they have been violated by Israel, by the United States, by the Indians, there is no standing for any treaties. So everything needs to be rethought and maybe redrawn. The
There is
borders.
there is an international law on paramountcy. When a country gets independence, who inherits the previous laws and the agreements? Now, without international arbitration, in a one-sided procedure, India became a self-appointed heir to the paramountcy over Kashmir and Ladakh, and also Himachal Pradesh and Bengal and all those other areas, and some princely states inside India, which, as per the international law, is not correct. So they have violated it over there, and the state court in Srinagar gave a stay order, which stays today. It has now been expunged after the dissolution of 35A and 370 and validation by the Indian Supreme Court. But till that time, it was not expunged. Madhav Rao case. So uh, we have a very strong case over Kashmir. It has to start with the cooperation of China and very little, very economical use of force. And there it is. And for a change, Praveen Savani also seems to
Oh,
be.
yes, I was thinking about him because what you were saying, Praveen Swami from India, he has pointed out a number of things in the similar way that Pakistan is preparing for a war and India should worry about its own part of Kashmir rather than what they call POK, because that was the question put to him during his press talk in, I
Yes.
think it was from
And now,
Mumbai.
my last part of the alignment,
Yes.
Bangladesh and Iran. Iran has earned the spurs,
Hmm.
and they are our neighbors. We have the same script. Notwithstanding religion, there's lots of Persian influence in Pakistan. There's also Persian influence in Afghanistan. There's also Turkic influence.
Hmm.
RCD was not a notion in the air. It was a template to make that crescent. I think it's time now that that crescent should come into existence. And as for Bangladesh, they are ready now. I do not know whether we are ready. But the people who go to Bangladesh and come, and I know many Bangladeshis and I communicate with them. My classmates, my class fellows served in the army with us. We did courses together. The first thing they say is we want a confederation sort of a thing with Pakistan. They are very loud about it. But the second word they say is what is not liked in Pakistan. They follow Imran Khan. So the government has to think. A man who's so popular in Pakistan, he's also so popular in Bangladesh. And we've not focused on Iran, whether he's popular there or not.
Hmm.
Why should he be excluded from a discourse and the leadership qualities that can gel Pakistan together? Because my next, this thing will be on national power.
Hmm. Because
First,
giving a strong political leadership.
yeah, we've also discussed the question, second question, which is the future of Kashmir, and now we come to the national power. What is
Yes.
the national power? National power is the mother of the country. National power is the mother which gives birth to the national interest of the country, which gives a dream, just like a mother has a dream for a child. My child will be great, he'll do this, he'll be a doctor, he'll be an engineer, he'll be a pilot, he'll be a soldier. It's that dream of a mother. So, national power is a mother. It begins from a relatively stable form of geography in which you have your seasons, you have your rivers, you have your land, you have your geology, you have your minerals. All these things, a relatively stable platform of geography through successive gradations of stability. Sometimes there's going to be some instability also. It happens in the life. But the thing that binds up the whole thing is the fleeting opportunities of national character and morale. National character comes in the national discipline and the national leaders. Leaders in all walks of life. Politicians, commanders in the armed forces, heads of corporations, heads of multinationals, business entities, all those organizations running in the country like railways and FPR and everything. Character, this is a fleeting opportunity. Character, national character, and morale. Morale is the people, it is the aspirations of the people and the willingness to go for the impossible. And the best example, I can give you two examples or three examples. First is China. Where was China 40 years ago? Where have they reached now? We can't say it's a communist country. You can take the example of Bangladesh. Their GDP is far ahead of us. Their rupee or a taka is double our value now. And you recently seen Iran fighting it out, where this
Hmm.
main leadership wiped out, killed. They still didn't stop. The wheel kept running. So we also need national character and morale. And then we have agriculture, we have industries, we have the revenue departments, we have the entrepreneurs in the country, we have the export potential, substituting exports, producing things, all those things put together. And what a strong point we have, a very strong backing, is our agriculture. Because whenever Pakistan is economically in trouble, the positive indices only come from agriculture. And the agriculture we have today is a very archaic and a redundant agriculture system, which is dependent on very high cost inputs, which were generated by mafias after the Second World War, converting ammonium nitrate and other things into fertilizers. So I belong to a school of thought in Pakistan which believes and which has proven that our natural agriculture produce is far cheaper and far superior in quantity and quality to
Hmm.
this agri mafias of the world like Bayer and Monsanto and all that. So agriculture is the backbone of our economy because it never lets us down. And then others have to move in sync. You know, If Pakistan can sustain a GDP of 5, 6, 7, 10 in the next 5 years,
Can.
we are
There's
out.
all the potential, and we have done so in the past. We know
Yes.
how to do.
So that is about the national power.
Yes.
And I think national power of Pakistan is extremely important, and our neighboring countries can help us a lot in that because
Yes.
they have
I would like
that
to add something,
experience.
yes, Samson sir, if you allow me very quickly, because we have heard Indians saying and others saying that China is also a non-Muslim country. You are okay with them, but I just realized in the previous couple of days when this war was going on between Iran and Israel that. We came across Marco Rubio's statement against the coming of Imam Mahdi. Same is the case with the Indians, the Hindus especially. They think that we are preparing for Ghazwa-e-Hind. So this is in their imaginations. These two peoples, they have problem with Muslim theology and perhaps Christian theology also. So whereas Chinese have never had any problem with any other religion, they have not shown any problem with Christian, Muslim, or as for that matter, any other theology at all. We have never heard Chinese even in private conversations discussing these things. But these people in India and in Israel and other parts of the world, they are compelled to talk about these things, and their futuristic ideas are based on these philosophies. So that is perhaps why we have a more comfortable relationship with China than any other nation in the region. How do you say
Let
that?
me just I'll slightly disagree. It may be the case with India and Israel, but not with other countries. Right today, the mayor of New York, a Muslim, has been elected, a Democrat
Yeah.
candidate. Prime Minister of India has been a man from Gujranwala, who, because of his relatives who migrated to India in 47, claims to be of Indian origin, but he was of Pakistani origin. In the West, this is not so much of a problem. In India, it is a very big problem. In Israel, because it's a Jewish state, and they say that it could be a problem, but we don't want to compare ourselves with India, except militarily. We should be as strong as them. That is the only area where we should
Hmm.
in Pakistan, I remember Pakistan was a very free society. In our school days, and even when we were in college, government college, Lahore, uh, Pakistan was far more modern than it is today. Right next to our school is Al Shams Mosque, St. Anthony's. I was in the hostel. So for the
Hmm.
Juma prayers, all the Muslim students used to go for Juma prayers in Al Shams Mosque. It's much later that I came to know that it's a Shia mosque.
Hmm.
These differences were not there the way you see when this revolution came in Iran and that fighting came in Afghanistan and special syllabus for madrasas were prepared in Nebraska by CIA and all that. Yeah, this trend even came into Pakistan. But
Yes.
we as Pakistanis, uh, we have to play our role
Hmm.
to let people know that we also matter. And I'm so happy that the Christian war heroes of Pakistan are always celebrated in our country. There's a
Hmm.
lot of celebration. Even
But okay,
recently,
we understand what changed things in Pakistan, what happened after the revolution and the Afghan war and all that. What kind of syllabus has been taught to the Indians and to the other people in the world who have turned such fanatics? They
I,
claim, they criticize our syllabus, our
I
education
think
system. But I
Imam
wonder what kind of national syllabus produces Hindutva ideology? If they are so proud of their education system, where are these people coming from?
in which country?
In
In
India?
India,
Yes.
India has a good educational curriculum, by the way.
Look at the way these people talk. Look at the extremism in them, lynching
No,
of people.
You have to
rape to women. This is all coming from their
no,
education
it's
system.
not in the Indian education system. Let me correct you. It is because of the saffron wave. Saffron wave is spread by RSS. So it's a non-governmental organization, a part of the civil society, which is adjunct to the Sangh Parivar of India, which is the Politburo of the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP). The
Hmm.
Politburo hai, that is, or they control the RSS and the saffron wave and everything, and they have even borrowed from the concept of uh, Hindutva. They exactly do not agree with the complete Hindutva, but what suits them, they have borrowed from
Well,
there,
yeah.
and they are doing it. It's the society which is doing it, civil
Hmm.
society, not the education institutions.
We should discuss it extensively
Yes.
another time. This is a very important subject. If you like to add something before taking leave today uh, from the main part of the discussion that we were
Yes.
doing.
There was one point left, and that
Yeah.
point is, how should we be looking at the future of Pakistan?
Yes.
Pakistan should be self-reliant, should be prosperous, should be proud, not dependent on any nation, country with strings attached. There should be no aid and trade with strings. We have to get out of the shackles of IMF. We have to produce more. We cannot keep growing in service industries, and that, where our taxes are coming from is the sales tax. It's coming from services most of the time. We have to go into goods. We have to produce finished goods we can export and we can consume in our country. And we have a very good ready-made base available to us if we are cooperating with China. Not Chinese companies which come here and exploit, but a proper agreement with People's Republic of China. And agriculture, uh, what I'm going to tell you, you will be shocked. Brazil, Australia, rice in Philippines. You know who's brought the revolution in these countries in agriculture?
Agriculture.
Pakistani, India. Indians, Haryana, Chandigarh, Bikaner, all these places. A revolution, Bihar, a revolution in agriculture, a Pakistani. And they have all shifted to natural agriculture. There's no fertilizer, no pesticides, nothing. And it's working. And they're making billions and billions of rupees. Uh,
Hmm.
can you imagine? We importing sugar from Australia. 20 years ago, Australia didn't produce sugar. Now they
Hmm.
produce cotton also. We produce a Pakistani. And where is that Pakistani? I'll recommend him to you, and you must carry out a series of programs.
Sure, sure.
Olive revolution in Pakistan, the strawberry revolution in Pakistan. From where did it come? Very few Pakistanis were working.
Hmm.
Everyone else is now taking the credit. So there's so much of talent in our country. The government doesn't promote them because corporations, their interests are somewhere else with multinationals and
People's interest is somewhere else, and the country's interest is somewhere else from what has been going on for last several years and decades, if that is the case. So, should we stop here, Samson Saab, for today?
the
And
national interest of the country, the interest of the people, the aspirations of the people, the leadership and management, if they get together, I tell you, even beginning now, next year, our GDP can be 7. I've been,
certainly, it has
I've been,
happened in the past, it can happen again. Yes. So, thank you so much for your talk today, Samson Saab, and we'll continue it in the days to come. And thank you very much for watching. Khuda Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.